All right, well, hello everyone. If you are new, welcome, and if you are returning, welcome back. My name is Teal Savage, and today I'll be talking about the King-Ohger press conference that happened Monday night. So for those who may not be aware, or who may not remember, let me give you a brief little recap. Osama Sentai King-Ohger is the 47th Super Sentai series, which is going to premiere on March 5th, 2023 at 9:30 a.m. JST, Japanese Standard Time, which is 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So the show's theme is going to be insects, which is a first for Super Sentai. Well, a first full theme anyway. We've had insect rangers before, but never as a full team, because for years it's been a Kamen Rider thing, even though Kamen Rider hasn't done insects as like a overall theme for everybody since like Kabuto back in like, was it 2006, 2007? But yeah, so this is going to be our first full insect theme. Well, technically full insect theme, because there's also, arachnids and the like there. So, So on Monday night, the press conference happened, and the press conference every year is what happens, is where the cast of the next series is revealed. We also have the theme song, we have the different characters, all that kind of stuff. And I'll just be going over that. Now, the main sources I'll be using here is my own personal character thread that I posted Monday night / early Tuesday morning. But I'll also be taking information from the homie Dennis over on Twitter at Is This Name Taken, because his stuff came from the Toei site, my stuff came from the TV Asahi site. So therefore it's the same characters, but it's like two separate descriptions of them. And then also, mainly for suit actors and the like, I'll be using the ever reliable Ranger Wiki page. And they also have extra cast I didn't put in the character thread, because as I was typing the character thread out, more casts were revealed who weren't already on like a cast page. So that's how that works. But yeah, so where better to start than the beginning, right? So first off, we're going to start with Gira, who transforms into King-Ohger. He's played by Sakai Taisei, and as I wrote here in my character thread, he is the self-proclaimed king of Shugadam who grew up in a children's home. He is a kind man, but always played the villain when playing as a hero with children. He has a habit of saying, "I'll rule the world," in a misleading tone. And then Dennis, he basically brought up as that, like, just Gira was an orphan, but also after some event that we have no knowledge of what happened, he became known as the King of Evil. So Gira seems like he's gonna be an interesting character. I'm not really sure any of these characters yet as to exactly where they're going. Gira the most, because I just feel like he has this vibe like he probably is gonna be like another, as much people like to complain about, like another Loudmouth Red, or maybe he won't, I don't know. But the most interesting part about him is that he isn't the real king of Shuganam. He's the kind of usurper of the throne, if you would. So I'm really curious as to how he takes the throne, and also I'm curious as to why he's called, what this event was that led to him being called the King of Evil, as they call him. So I'm really curious. King-Ohger's suit actor is going to be Shigeki Ito, who's a veteran suit actor for, Toku Productions, mainly Saber Sentai and Kamen Rider. And yeah, so that's King-Ohger. Next, going to the Blue Ranger of the team, we have Yanma Gus, aka Tombo Ohger, played by Aoto Watanabe. He is the king of Inconsopa, how do you pronounce it? He grew up in the slums, but rose to power via his laptop, and is often referred to as president. And he wants to be essentially the best at all times, so he's very competitive. And then for Dennis' thread, it goes a little more into like his slums upbringing, but mostly the most like important part is that he speaks a lot of slang, so that's very interesting. Obviously, because we grew up in like a poorer place, your vernacular is not going to be the same as someone who grew up in a well-educated area. So special note about Ato, in the press conference, he actually said that he's tried out 4 separate times for Sentai roles, and this is his first being Sentai role. So that's interesting. But as for Yama himself, the suit for him and the others, honestly, it's kind of wild. His might be the most wild. And I actually saw on Twitter someone said, bro, no, I think it was Legion of Boom who said this. Basically, they were saying that, look, anybody who dresses like Yanma has to be white. And that, honestly, yeah, nah, bro. I can't imagine. Yeah, nah, there's no way. But he's obviously the smart one of the team, but also most competitive. So I'm really curious as to, what his whole back and forth with the rest of the team is going to be. But also I'm very curious as to how exactly did he come to power, because all we get is that he did it via his own laptop, and it's like, okay, but what exactly happened that led to you becoming the king of Inkosopa, or as he's often referred to as the president? Yeah, but yeah, that's Tom Boger, and his suit actor is going to be Hirosugi Mori, who I believe is the suit actor for Sonoi. Yes, he's Sonoi in Dawn Brothers. He's his transformed form. Next up is kind of our, resident girly girl, I'd assume, of this team. Every Sense team has that one. If they have multiple females, they usually have that one female who, is kind of the girly girl in comparison to the other one, right? But anyway, so this is our version. She's the Yellow Ranger this time, and her name is Himeno Ran, and she transforms into common King-Ohger. And she's played by Erika Murakami. She's the queen of Ishibana, which is the land of arts and medicine. She's a beautiful but selfish queen who aims to... Again, like I said, she seems she's going to be probably the girly girl of the team in a sense. Like, not necessarily that, I love puppies and stuffed animals and whatnot, but just like, if you compare her to, say, Papillion Ogre, which then again, Papillion Ogre is kind of we'll get there, but I assume she's going to be probably the girly girl. But also I'm interested in like her selfish nature, because obviously from the whole medicine queen and helping people aspect, obviously to a certain extent she does have selflessness in her, but it seems as it only comes out when it's in reference or in relevance to someone being hurt. So it's a very interesting thing that's going on. And also, by the way, Kamakiri Oger's suit actor is Yume Sakanashi, which I'm not sure if she's been in Toku productions before. Quickly check here. Oh, she was Future Oni's sister in episode 43 of Dawn Brothers. Right. So what's kind of noticeable here is that when you go down this list, a lot of the suit actors for like the main team are kind of not necessarily, I don't want to say fresh, but they're not as like well known and like a very often choice for suit actors. Like a lot of people, when things coming up, everybody's like, oh, Kamakiri is going to be what's her name, Ayumi Shimozono. So a lot of people assumed she was going to be suit actress for Kamakiri Ogre because, like I said, she's kind of the go-to female actress, I guess, currently. So next up is the King-Ohger, or as I'm going to call him, the Ogre, who's kind of become the fan favorite very quickly, and was also kind of the source of a lot of back and forths and conversations ever since leaks came out. And that is Papillion Ogre, whose real name is Rita Kaniska, and they are played by Yuzuki Hirakawa. Now I put emphasis on they because as of recording, there's no clear indication of if they're a female or they're supposed to be referenced or their pronouns are male. And that's kind of been the big thing going around since like leaks came out, because when the leaks came out, we were told by the Real My Hunt over on Twitter that Papillion Ogre in the toys uses a female body like Kamakiri Ogre. But then everybody else was going, when they saw the suits for the first time, they said, well, Papillion Ogre looks a little male. And everybody was just going back and forth, like, is it a dude? Is it a female? Is it a female that goes by, male pronouns, non-binary? For me personally, for right now, I'm going to just go with the thought that they're non-binary for the time being. So I'll try my best to say they instead of he or she, but I already know I'm probably going to slip eventually. But regardless, going into who they are, Rita is the sovereign leader of Gokhan, which is the land of ice and snow. They are the chief justice of their court and who seek to protect neutrality throughout the world. They are very stoic, cautious, and a fair and accurate judge, but also very compassionate and soft-spoken. As for Dennis, he doesn't have a tweet about Rita anymore. As he said at the bottom of the thread, let me go ahead and read it for you. He said he got rid of the Rita tweet because he doesn't want people arguing in his feed. I'd imagine because naturally, since Rita's the only one who has no set gender or pronoun situation, people obviously are going back and forth. Well, it's a female betraying them, so therefore it has to be a female, or well, nobody says that specifically, and and they got people going, well, if you want to be technical, Japanese language doesn't really attach gender to any of these characters except for, say, Kamakiri Ogre, who's specifically referenced as a queen. But yeah, for me personally, I'm gonna just go with they're non-binary for the time being until something says they're this or that or the other. The suit actor for King-Ohger is Yuichi Hachisuka, who is actually a male suit actor who is known for kind of playing female characters in suit. You know, because at a time, that's what they would do. They would just kind of use a male suit actor and put him in a female suit and then call it a day. So, yeah. So that explains kind of the discrepancy there. But it might have been something they did on purpose. Who knows? You know, who knows? So, again, just to be clear, we're not exactly sure what the deal with King-Ohger's gender is. So, for now, I'm just assuming they're non-binary and keep it moving. So, to round out the team, we have Kagiragi Daiboski, who is Hachioger, and they're played by So Kaku. They are the Lord of Tofu, the land of agriculture, and he is a two-faced man who lies while smiling. He is a philanderer, is basically a womanizer, who is selfish and will use any tactics to keep the supreme peace. And then in Dennis's thread, again, there's not a lot more. It's just basically saying, he's paranoid. Basically, only like extra parts that he's paranoid and deceitful, and that he'll lie to save himself or his kingdom. That's pretty much it. That's the only technically new parts to him. So Kaku actually is no stranger to Toku, because much to my surprise, he actually played the character Love-chan in 01, who was a tennis human gear. This is Hachioger, and his suit actor is Shogo Teramoto. He previously played the future Don Murasame in Don Brothers during the same episode that future only sister appeared. Yeah, so like I said, for the main team, 3 out of 5 of them aren't exactly well-known suit actors. Not that like they're new, but they're not well-known compared to someone like, was it Shigeki Ito, I believe his name is. Yeah, Shigeki Ito, who is a well-known, everybody, you say that and everybody's like, oh yeah, it's him. And you kind of make that same comparison with Yuichi Hachisuka, which, funny enough, the dude with Hachi isn't the suit actor for Hachioger. But regardless, you can say the same thing, kind of. But even then, he still has been around for a while. But yeah, 2 out of 3 of the team don't really have like well-known suit actors. But, it's always nice to see your fresh young blood in there. So now we're going to get into the ally section of the characters. We're going to start off with Rakules Hasty. Rakules being a play on the word Heracles for the Hercules beetle. I guess because Hercules, so it'd be Rakules or Rakules. Doesn't matter. Point is, he's portrayed by Masato Yano. He is the true king of Shugadam, who succeeded his father. Was it Cassius Hasty? But however you pronounce it, or however it's spelled, his father's name is based on a caucus beetle. But anyway, so Rakules here is the most powerful man in the world and united the 5 kingdoms with his exceptional leadership. He's also well liked and trusted by his kingdom. There's already been some theories that this dude isn't up to no good, but of course there's the whole thing where he's the true king of Shugadam. So he's the actual guy in charge, but then somehow Gira comes in, takes his spot, and then that's pretty much it. Now, I'm going to get into a little bit of spoiler territory here, but we also know eventually Rakules here will turn into a ranger by the name of Kuwagata-Ohger, who's basically a silver repaint of Kuwagata-Ohger. So I'm very interested to see what goes on and how he gets to that point. And also, of course, I'm very interested to see if he's a little more villainous in a sense than what he lets on or not. Very briefly, we'll talk about the aids of the different kings and the like in King-Ohger. Again, it's going to be a very brief section. But starting off in Shugadam, which is where Gira and Rakules come from, Rakules' aides are a character by the name of Doga and Boshimar, who are played by Yutaka Morioka and Jubun Fukazawa, respectively. For in Kospa, or however that name's always going to confuse me, we have Shiokara, who's played by Yuhei Shiwata. For Ishibana, where Kamakiri-Ohger comes from, we have a character simply named Sebastian. And then for, sorry, that's my mouse. For Gokhan, King-Ohger specifically, we have a character by the name of Morphonia, who's played by Kasumi Hasegawa. So, like I said, these are the aides of the kings, basically. We don't have anything for Hachi-Ohger's aide. He is in the trailer, which I'll leave a link to down below as well, but we don't see him. Going back to Heracles for a second, Dennis here says that Heracles was actually around 200 years ago when the war against the Bugnarak, or Bugnarak, whichever one you want to go with, was halted, I guess you could say, or when the war was won, I should say. Now, of course, you're wondering who in the war is Bugnarak, and also 200 years old. Yes, because we learned from pre-show material that the King-Ohger team, the current generation of them, aren't actually like the first. They're just the next in line, and I think they've been going on for like 2,000 years ish. So yeah. So now we're gonna get into the villain characters, and we'll come back to kind of your normal everyday characters, but we'll get to the villain characters now, since they're kind of the next thing. But anyway, so this is from the Earth Empire Bugnarak, who are the main villains of the show. And first we're gonna start off with the leader of Bugnarak, whose name is Desnarak the Eighth, who's voiced by Tomoyuki Shimura. And he is the head of Bugnarak, who seeks treasures in order to rewrite the balance of power between humans and the Bugnarak. Pretty simple. His suit actor is, his suit actor is going to be Richi Seikei, but he has been in a good amount of characters, and he's actually shown as a suit actor in Dawn Brothers. So yeah. But then his second in command, or Desnarak's second in command, is going to be a creature, known as Prime Minister Kame-Jim, who's voiced by Shinichiro Miki, who voiced Sieg in Den-O. So that's cool to see a returning voice actor. And Kame-Jim here he's the researcher and monster grower. He grows monsters, and he also researches insect-based mechanical life forms, probably the shoe gods, and he gives some Bugnarak monsters insect power to make them to grow into giant size. And his suit actor is Masato Tsutamune. And briefly, before I move on to the kind of civilians, the King-Ohger mech is suit acted by Yohei Fujita. And then finally, for our characters, we have a couple of civilian characters in the different countries. For right now, we only have characters from Shugenam and Kospa. So from Shugenam, we have a character by the name of Kogane and Boon, who's portrayed by Anna Hoshino and Minato Kiso respectively. And then in Scopa, we have Aka, Usuba, and Mayuta, who are portrayed by Hokoto Minami, Kaito Okano, and Nagisa Hayakawa respectively. Real brief before I move on, the grunts of the Bugnarak are named Sanagim, which is a play on, I believe, Sanagi, which is Japanese for what's the name, pupa, which is kind of what insects go through when they're transforming or transitioning. So for example, like butterflies would be like a cocoon, you got chrysalises, all that kind of stuff. That's what a pupa is. So yeah, that's our characters. And that completes our cast. That's it. That's the whole cast. And then the last thing from the press conference is the opening theme of King-Ohger is called Zenryoku King. And it's going to be performed by Takayuki Furukawa, who I don't believe has done Toku work before. I'm not exactly sure, but I don't believe he's done Toku work before song-wise. I don't believe so. Allow me to briefly search him up just to see if there's anything that pops up. Yeah, no, he hasn't worked on any Toku stuff before, so this is going to be his first song in the Toku world, which is cool. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that is the King-Ohger cast and the theme song for the show. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, I'm done here. You know what I'm saying? That's all I want to talk about. So until next time, like, comment, subscribe, share this video if you can. Well, no, share this video, period. You should. But share this video, and I'll talk to y'all next time. Peace.